Hello, hello, hello. Rock video meditation. I have a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. Making this video for Sandy and everybody. And it was good to see Sandy on Facebook when I came back from our road trip. And it's good to have a friend. Someone who thinks about me, someone who wonders if I'm still alive, someone who cares about me, feels really, really amazing. Only an angel soul would do that. So I am infinitely grateful to Sandy, the angel, and to all angel souls that are out there in the world. That there's a number of angel souls out there. They're very, very dispersed around the globe and universally into the infinite cosmos. I made 4 videos on our road trip. Road trip videos that are not very long. Some of them are just a few minutes long, and some of them are like 20 minutes long. And I talked about the environment, about stewardship, about compassion. I showed the lakes, I showed a meadow, and even a girl on a horse, but the camera did not pick this up very, very well. And the girl on the horse, they were so far away, they were like far out on the horizon, sort of. But that's okay, they probably made really awesome videos of the girl on the horse. She was wearing a Halloween costume, like some kind of, like a, I don't know, some kind of a queen cape, a red queen cape that she had over the butt of the horse, and beautiful white horse. And that must have looked so good in their videos, up close, filming her up close with that red cape and that princess dress and the long, beautiful hair in front of this spectacular, most amazing sunset that I have ever seen. So I want to talk a little bit about the road trip, and after that I want to talk a little bit about psychology, all of these things that have been going through my mind. The road trip itself was not a vacation. So, a road trip in a short van is not a vacation. I will always say, when I suffer real bad, I will say, and this is a vacation. No, it's not a vacation. No. But it's a road trip, so that I can call it. Not super comfortable. No, that is not implied in the words road trip. So road trip means road trip, whether it is comfortable or not. So we brought too much stuff again, and it was claustrophobic, and the mattress was hard, and it was causing me aches and back pain, and it was so unluxurious. But yeah, I always call it boot camp trips out into the desert. But these trips are always kind of like either those trips or no trips at all. So when the cabin fever and the loneliness and the isolation gets to the point where I might throw a cup or two on the floor, that's when it's time for another road trip. Yes, that is uncomfortable with back pain, but that's still better than having the cabin fever get you. So it was time for a road trip, very much so. This time without the dog, and the tears were flowing on the footsteps of the papa dog. Okay, the same road trips, the same stops, the same camping places without the papa dog. It was raw. It was very painful. And that is existence. That is my existence in this lifetime. My existence of radical honesty and radical realness and radical straightforward thinking and moving. Without 10-star hotels, as I was used to in the past, growing up with 10-star hotels, 10-star restaurants, everything 10-star, everything. Meeting artists, meeting famous people, meeting influential people, constantly surrounded with beautiful, artistic, interesting, intelligent people growing up like this, and then moving to Los Angeles in 1992, and first at the center of Arjanov, that was the same thing, interesting, amazing people, that were radical, that were willing to go into themselves, that from all over the world, so very cosmopolitan. Even at Los Angeles itself, very, very cosmopolitan. And so it was kind of like a very gradual shift away from the society that I grew up with my parents and the artists and the architects and all of that. So first, the next transitional state was at the center, where I didn't even notice that I was in a different place, sort of. So still the same interesting people. So my first encounter was a fundamentalist, with someone who had not come from that background, was when I had an accident on the street with a bicycle, and I was crying and limping myself to the sidewalk, all bruised up, because guy opened the van door and I flew right over it. I fell on top of my bicycle, and the bike and I, we were okay, but all bruised up. And the fundamentalist old lady came towards me, waving her forefinger. You need to repent to Jesus. And I thought, this is not real. This is out of some kind of real bad class C horror film or something that didn't make it, that's thrown at you at a video store or something. So that's when I realized, So the world of my parents and the world of Arjanov's primal training and treatment center, that's basically, those are enclaves. Those make up less than 1% of the whole globe. So obviously, and I've seen places when traveling, when we were driving through places, just leaving Germany, crossing the border into other places like Austria or Switzerland, or getting into the Mediterranean and farther south, so into Africa. I have seen the skinny cows and the poverty and the skinny dogs. I got glimpses of it. We drove through that fast, but I will never forget, I've seen all of this. So I knew, and also from the news, I knew suffering is out there on a massive scale in this world. And then when I got into animal rights, then I really saw how much suffering is actually happening that is withheld from schools, from education, from the news, from the views of the public. But the first encounter was with that fundamentalist lady, and that really shocked me that this stuff is actually real. That's not just some kind of horror movie theme for Halloween, or like some kind of crazy person. No, this religious fanaticism is happening on a massive scale on this planet. Okay? That is institutionalized insanity, because people reinforce each other with that. That's like someone believing in it wouldn't even matter what kind of Halloweenish type of exaggerated example I would use. This is actually happening. There are people that impale each other, and they think this is a sort of part of their religion or something like this, So Vladimir the Impaler, one person doing horror to another group, and the other group doing horror to the other group, and calling that religiousness or patriotism or nationalism. Institutionalized violence and insanity and belief systems. Islam is the epitome of that. Antifa, Black Lives Matter is the epitome of that, what's going on. They're constantly lighting fires as soon as it gets hot, and as soon as there are several days of sunlight, they go out there. They're sent, they are shipped, they are bused to different places. They are told to do it in the name of some kind of illusion, something that isn't even real, in the name of them feeling oppressed, which is not even happening. Okay, but they're being told that they're oppressed, so they will believe it. And most of those people don't even need to be told any of this kind of stuff, that those lies. They just want to they're miserable and they want to be violent. Okay? That's how they feel like. I guess that's how they feel alive or something. Yeah, that's how mentally ill these people all are, and it is making me infinitely sad, and all of this is very, very painful for me to live with the news, with what's going on, with the worries, what is gonna happen, you know. Do they all want to destroy their mothership that they live on, Mother Earth that gave them existence? They want to just destroy everything, destroy their own life support, their own life's resources. Yeah. They want to destroy their own mother. That's what these people are doing. So, and with this worry and this despair, we went onto our road trip. Hopefully, you know, bypassing those type of terror regions, which we did. I saw some crazy people though, driving donuts and squealing tires. I don't know who they were, but the blue god protected us on our trip, and he shows himself in form of clouds. I see the eye of the blue god always showing himself, always in different ways, you know, sometimes on a photo. When I photograph greenery, there's the eye of the blue god. Sometimes I just see the eye of the blue god in the trees, the way the trees are shaping themselves, and the way the leaves are creating pattern formations, and always in clouds, and often in shrubs and trees and on lawns. It's very nice. It's very wonderful. And I also see 3-digit numbers like 333, 222, 444. I see that a lot. And I was curious, and I read about it, and those are number formations that give you an assurance that you are protected, that you are cared for by the infinite cosmos, that you are attuned to it. You are attuned to compassion and love, and to that knowing that only love and compassion is what matters. That is I turned the computer. That's the only thing that matters in existence, that we care about all life forms. So I see a very, very, very large bug crawling on the screen door. Crawling very slowly. That could be a cricket. Very, very nice insect. I love all beings. I love all cells. I love all life forms. And I have visited with many horses, and once they get to know me and they see me again, they make a bubbling voice, And that means, hello, I recognize you. Yes, you're nice. Come on over. Yeah, that's good. And then I tickle the horses a little bit under the chin. And I pet their lips. They have very strong lips with a lot of muscles in it for plucking up grass and pulling it up, ripping it up, and then slowly eating the long grasses and all that long stuff that they pluck up from the lawn. And the oats, oat grains, sometimes kind of like dried type of desert shrubs. I saw wild horses in the desert. That was really, really amazing. Several herds of wild horses in the desert. And it was so good to see happy, healthy, and free horses. It was wonderful. So, even though the road trips are uncomfortable and not luxurious and often kind of painful and raw, emotionally, even physically, with back pain and all of this, they always teach me something. There's always things to observe outside and inside of myself. And so much to learn about myself, about my limitations, about my needs, what I actually want from life, what I want to do with my life. I often get sidetracked, when I'm watching shows or when I watch entertainment stuff. I get sidetracked into thinking, yeah, I just want to be pampered by some kind of sugar dad, and I want Elon Musk to take care of me, and I just want to live in super luxury and all of this. And yes, everyone wants it, everyone deserves that. And maybe I will someday, right? So it is a dream, and I hold on to that dream. And I think we should hold on to any dream, any beautiful, peaceful dream that is loving and peaceful for ourselves and others. But in the meantime, existence is also about learning. It is about exploring into your own mind. I would say not by deliberately doing something that is dangerous, like a daredevil, like Chris Angel or David Blaine, or the Iceman Wim Hof being embedded in ice cubes and stuff like this. No, I mean, that's their choice, that is their way of learning and growing it. And I respect that. But in general, that's not what I recommend to the world or to myself, not doing something that is deliberately dangerous. Life is already full of dangers, and just existence alone is already quite rocky sometimes, literally. So the paths are not paved. Our paths are not paved with red velveteen rugs on it. Okay, that's not what existence is about. And those people who do have that and who grow up like this, kind of like how my brother and I grew up as children and when we were very young, teenagers and early 20s, until I left and went to Los Angeles at 26. So until then, money came out of a credit card, and everything was paid. That's not how we learn. We don't learn that like that. We don't learn to take care of ourselves like that. It was real hard for my brother and me. It was like a plunge. Like, suddenly you're gonna have to take care of certain things. No one else will do it. You're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to make it happen. You're gonna have to take care of stuff. You're gonna have to read a little bit on how to pay taxes, for example. You're gonna have to do uncomfortable stuff that you don't like, that you find. My dad even, this goes through several generations. My dad's like, I don't want to do taxes. No, it doesn't feel good, until he has to have like back taxes of $200,000. That's not a good idea, right? It's like, that's a hard awakening. So it's better to do it right up front. Then you can save $200,000. That would be much better, right? So my husband Paul, he grew up very differently. He grew up having to take care of himself because no one else was able to take care of him, neither his dad nor his mother. They were all immersed in their own stress, in their own stuff, in their own work. They did sabotage, and they were dysfunctional. They didn't know how to take care of their children. They didn't know how to take care of their lives. So he had to take care of himself. He not only of himself, he had to take care of his mother already from a very early age on. So he had the reality school much sooner in his life, which is real rough, and there's trauma involved, and that's not good at all. But on the other hand, it taught him things very early on, and it made him more alert and more knowledgeable, not just in terms of the legal system, but in terms of just how to take care of things, in terms of what to pay attention to when we interact with other people, when we are dealing with things, when we have to take care of our own finances, of our own livelihood. When we have to secure things for ourselves in a legal procedure, for example. Most people are not really informed about that, how important all of this is. This is all part of learning and growing and making something out of your life, very important. And lots of stuff goes into this, not just learning the law or learning about finances, but much more. All of the things that Tony Robbins is mentioning in his 30-day audio program and his videos, much more. I mean, the entire scale of existence goes into this. It starts with what you put into your mouth. It starts with not ever touching a drop of alcohol. It starts with refusing drugs, completely refusing all drugs, refusing all toxic substances, all narcotics. The Buddha talked about this too. He said, have no dealings with alcohol and any kind of narcotic. That makes a lot of sense. How can you even take care of your life if your brain is fogged up? You can't. You have to be clear. You have to be completely crystal clear. You can derive comfort from other things, like from rocks, from long hikes. We went for 2 long hikes just recently. That was important. We should go for a really long hike every day, but we're not doing that, and that's not good. We're not doing everything that we should be doing. Even what we buy, the kind of food that Paul buys. I shake my head. I say, this is not going anywhere. He has type 2 diabetes. This is not going anywhere. So all of this is taking care of yourself. I'm not saying it's easy. Buying food, that's like food is like drugs. There are food items that are so highly addictive, like candy, chocolate. So I don't blame people if they can't help it but grab candy bars and chocolate bars and Toblerone and Lindt chocolate and all of these goodies. So I don't blame anyone. I know how difficult this is. Very, very difficult to be abstinent from all of those things. Very, very difficult. But the very first step is, for most people, is to become crystal clear about becoming abstinent from hard chemicals like alcohol, street drugs, narcotics, under-the-table drugs, over-the-table drugs, pharma drugs that are harsh. Most pharma drugs are harsh. Okay, so that's the very first step. Otherwise, there's no way to become crystal clear in the head. So that's the very first step to take, to become very, very clear. And then meditate. Sit in meditation. Go into nature a lot. Listen to the birds. Don't run away. Don't escape again into colloquialism, into social norms and social role attributions and neurotic role play and peacock dances and stuff like that. So watch the real peacocks in the wild if you can find one. Just listen to the birds talking to each other. The stellar jays are talking to each other from tree to tree right now, and I'm listening. And what are they saying? They're saying, I am here and you are there, and I can hear you from this tree. Yes, and I can hear you from that tree. And the sun is shining and we are feeling good today. Let's enjoy every moment that this planet is in wellness. Okay. And if everyone would do this, meditate on this, then there would be no more need for nationalism or racism or needs of belonging to some kind of violent terrorist organization or listening to their commands and whatever people are doing, terrible things that people are doing in the world in the name of religion or belonging to a group, just being wanted or liked by that group or by that society. It's incredible. It's incredibly, infinitely sad what some people are what some people are supporting. They don't even know what they're not even completely clear. If they were really clear on what they're supporting there, they would not do it. A lot of people, a lot of liberals, if they really knew what's going on, how many animals are dying from the forest fires set by Black Lives Matter people, they could not, if they care, they could not be supporting those violent terrorist groups anymore. Okay. So we followed with our van, we followed Mars into clearer and clearer night skies, night sky visions, until we got to a meadow and the sky was completely clear. There was the Milky Way. It is very clear where we live here, quite clear. In Los Angeles, you can almost see nothing. You can probably barely see the moon and Mars and Venus, and that's it. So once we got out to Apple Valley, we were able to see a lot more out there. Near Bakersfield, you can see a lot more. You go further out into the desert, you see a lot more. You go all the way out there into the desert. You go out into Death Valley and beyond. You see the sky like you're out there in space. There's no more light pollution that covers up any stars and the Milky Way and any kind of supernovae and collisions and twinkling stars and stuff like that. So it's like being out on a spaceship and looking out of the window. And then I finally found the Jax Austin hot springs. I've asked Jax Austin. Jax Austin travels in his schoolie, his old converted school bus, which he has remodeled into a wonderful, wonderful motorhome. He travels with this schoolie throughout all the desert regions and to the hot springs, into nature, wonderful places. And he found this one hot spring, and I asked him, I don't think he even saw my comment. He gets so many comments. And if he did, he probably wouldn't want to tell people where that location is, because then too many people will just be going there all the time. And those communities, they don't want too many people coming there with their old school buses and camping out there and stuff. So, but I looked all of this up already before the trip on Google Earth, and there was this hot water river that I already saw from Google Earth, and I thought, this must be it. That's it. That's the Jax Austin Hot Springs. And again, I can't mention either where it is because then just too many people will go there. So I fully understand Jack's when he talks about these amazing places, but he can't say where it is. So we went there. What I saw on Google Earth, and I went to a real nice 10-star resort, hot spring resort, and there was this really gorgeous man, kind of like, like these movies, these eliminate shows where they have these who wants to date a billionaire. And then they have these 10 women that are all lined up. I want to date you, yeah, but I do too. And then they fight and they do cat fighting and like, no, you bitch, and I want him. And so, no, she bad, no, she bad, the other one's bad, no, you bad, no, they're all, no. We should all love each other. No, they don't understand that, but anyway. They want the billionaire because we're animals, and that's what the problem is. And most people don't have the prefrontal cortical activity that will that will bring perspective into this and say, wait a minute, that girl there, she has the right to have a boyfriend too. So, and fun and all of that. So, but anyway, yeah, that kind of guy, so like 6 feet tall, chubby hubby, gorgeous, had like curly brown hair, looked like blue eyes, and gorgeous guy, really gorgeous, in a white bathrobe. And I was like, hey, we're looking for hot springs to go into. In the back of my head, in parentheses, I was thinking, I want hot springs for free. I don't want to have to pay for a 10-star resort. And he said, well, I don't know if they allow anyone to go into their pools. You're probably going to have to make a reservation with the hotel. And I should have said, but we are tightwads and we have to keep our money together, but I was too embarrassed to admit that. So I said, okay, but I also didn't want to bother him for too long. I said, thank you, we'll figure it out. And so we drove back. We drove down those land roads. And I said, slow down. This is where it was on Google Earth. And slow way down. And then, there it is. I see the hot water coming out from under the road. And I said, you have to back up. Now, there was no other traffic out there, way out there in among all these cow pastures and the meadows and the chaparral and the sagebrush and those spiky ones, those really mean spiky things that are the really gnarly type of hardy type of desert shrubs that can make it through unimaginable heat, and they are often very thorny. So lots of stuff gets very mean and thorny out there in the desert regions around the whole planet. That's where Islam comes from very thorny, mean, arid areas. The thorny stuff there makes it through, so the other ones don't make it. So it's evolution. So, but yeah, and I poked myself several times in the foot and in my finger also. I had to put bentonite clay on it, and that healed it right up. So, what's that name again of that thorny stuff? I forgot now. I can't remember now what that. I keep forgetting. I will look it up later. All these names, but there are plants that have literally cat claws growing out of it, with the pointy end that is almost like a microscopic needle, so that can burrow itself into skin very quickly. And I stepped on one, and that went right through the callus of my toe. So, but that's all. Oh, that's all part of life. All of this is the learning journey. It's this roughness. And there's something about the desert in the United States that is just amazing. And so while we were driving down, that was the first night there in the total desert. And I was so excited when I saw that Jack's Austin Hot Springs. And I said, "You're gonna have to drop me off here." And I had to fight with him for a couple of hours before he would finally drop me off there and wait for me at the other end. And then pick me up later. So I finally got into the hospital. It was finally dark, and I went in skinny dipping, and that was, I think, a little bit risky because it's right next to the road, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't have my swim gear on, so but then I decided I'm gonna put my t-shirt back on and the shorts. But I was in that water on my back and mud underneath, clay mud, and that smelled so good, and it has a real high sulfur content, and it smelled so good and so healing. And I was on my back in this 105 degrees Fahrenheit hot springs with real high water flow through coming out of this really large pipe, and it going into this mud pond of real rich, dark clay mud. And I put that all over my hair. I washed my hair with that. I put it all over my face. And I was on my back looking into the sky, into the Milky Way, and that is it was so incredibly amazing. I was there for like 20 minutes or something, not very long. Also, you can't stay in 105 degrees for too long, you get overheated. So my whole body was red, my face was all red, and my blood was pumping, and I was looking into the night sky, and it was like, "Thank you, Blue God. Thank you for this amazing experience." It was so incredibly amazing. And then 2 days later, I went in again in the afternoon, this time with my swim gear on, and I stayed there for about half an hour. It was gorgeous. And then the next day we left the area and gradually went back and went through different wildlife refuges and beautiful bird sanctuaries, and wildlife places, of bird watching and watching geese and ducks, and just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous places. And then the last night I saw the girl on the horse on that amazing meadow, and I made this incredible video of this most amazing sunset that looked like there was a volcano that had active lava coming out. That's what it looked like, because the sun was setting right in between those big rolling hills. And I'll show the video. That there'll be the fourth video after this here. The fourth video of the 4 road trip videos. So now I want to wrap the video up, just talk for about 10 more minutes about emotions. And all of this ties in with one another, you know. We live for the moments of gorgeousness and beauty. And when we're really attuned to it, and really, really allow ourselves to attune and to relax into it, you know, that's what Pema Chodron is talking about. Relax into the fear, she says. Relax into the moment, you know. Relax into that now moment. Breathe with it, you know. Breathe with it. I have to tell myself over and over and over again. Nicola, breathe while washing dishes. Breathe while being in the van or claustrophobic. Breathe. Breathe into the discomfort of the moment. Breathe into the comfort. That's easy to do, but then you're much more grateful to the comfort that comes into your life when you're willing to breathe into the discomfort as well. Whatever it is, back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, crooked positions of yoga, distortions, trying to turn around when there's almost no space at all. Breathe into it. Most people have it really, really made, so they never even get the chance to feel what it means to do asceticism, some form of asceticism, some form of rawness. Most people are so incredibly spoiled they get everything thrown at them. Everything, and then they completely forget what the meaning of life actually is. They're so confused by everything else is their physical comforts are taken care of. They have boyfriends, they have girlfriends, they get their $4,000 welfare checks and everything made, and they have their homes remodeled for free by social workers. And that's happening in the United States. And then they want more, and they think they're being stepped on by other people that have multi-billion-dollar homes and stuff like this. And I'm exaggerating now, multi-million-dollar homes. And then they think, oh, see, it's so only those have, only the people with the plate skin color, they have those multi-million-dollar homes. No, 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 no. The ones with the polka dots too. They have the polka dot skin types. They have multi-million-dollar homes too. Yeah. So there are all kinds of different skin patterns and colors that have multi-million-dollar homes. So no, it's not just when you see there are all those and they step on us like a rug. No, 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 no. That has nothing to do with the polka dots or the plaid skin formation patterns on people's skins. I got some polka dots on here too. Some age spots. Yeah, so, but anyway. No one is stepping on anyone, but the people who think they're being stepped on, they sure are stepping. They want to step on other people, and they think that's okay. Yes, no, they think that should be justified. Justified? How is that justified? No, it's not justified. Violence is never justified. Okay, but they don't see it. Their minds are so distorted. They don't know what asceticism is. They don't know anymore what it means to breathe and to feel the birds and nature and other living beings. You know? To feel the women. You know? The men, they don't know what it's like to feel women, to feel their mental state, to feel them, to know what they're going through. They see women as a commodity, they see women as an enemy. We are living beings, just like you, okay? And I hope to bring this across in my videos. I hope to bring this across as good and as honest as I can, so that you get an insight, a little window into the woman's brain, the woman's mind. We are not riddles or enigmas. We are not these mysterious witches. Okay? We're living beings with feelings, with needs. Okay? Just like you. Sit down in meditation and breathe and feel the animals and feel the other people. If you're a man, feel women, see, hear, feel, sense. In meditation, you can do it. Then you can understand that you can't bully a woman into a nervous breakdown anymore, because we have feelings. Okay? We cry. We get devastated. We get devastated when we are bullied and told that we are unattractive and old, or we look like a dude, or whatever. I'm so grateful to Billie Eilish for being so honest, so radically honest to the whole public, to the whole world, about her feelings. And to show this is how she feels when she's bullied. And I show you too. I show you just like she shows you. And that's how we all should be. We all should. We should be more transparent. We should show the world that we're hurting. Okay? And breathe into this. Breathe into that feeling. This is feel what it feels like. Feel it. Don't hide it. Don't run away from it. Feel it and let the other person see. And that's how we all heal. That's how we can help other people heal. Okay? You guys take care. Bye-bye.